Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi that's ongoing in the national capital. So those are the visuals, of course, from the bilateral that was underway at Hyderabad House. Sanae Takaichi, of course, also met Prime Minister Modi on the sidelines of the G7 summit. And this happens to be her first official bilateral visit to India. Lots of areas of cooperation between India and Japan, not just purely in strategic terms, but also in the field of trade as well as economics. Remember that Japan is a very serious infrastructure partner on multiple projects with India. It's also eyeing a significant number of investments in the northeast of the country as well. And apart from this, of course, both India and Japan are key strategic allies when it comes to the state of affairs in the Indo-Pacific. They're also members of the Quad together with the United States of America as well as Australia. And this visit on the part of the Japanese Prime Minister is an attempt to strengthen bilateral cooperation on multiple fronts. Let me go across to my colleague Akanksha once again to give us a perspective on what we can expect in terms of some of the key takeaways from the ongoing visit of Sanae Takaichi, the Japanese Prime Minister. Akanksha, the two leaders did, of course, meet on the sidelines of the G7 summit, and Prime Minister Modi himself has made multiple trips to Japan. He had also forged very close ties with one of the Japanese former Prime Ministers, the late Shinzo Abe, as well, and Indo-Japanese ties really took off when both of them were leading their respective countries. Take us through how these ties have evolved and what we can now expect from this ongoing visit.
Absolutely. In fact, India and Japan share a strategic and global partnership, one that gained tremendous momentum during the Prime Ministership of late Shinzo Abe. But I'd also like to highlight that it is Prime Minister Modi's own personal capital which has ensured that after administration under each Prime Minister, India and Japan only strengthened their ties further. Something we saw even during Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's time, even Prime Minister Shigeru's time, and now Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi also hoping to capitalize on that personal capital that Prime Minister Modi himself has invested in Japan ever since he took to Prime Ministership. Having said that, we are also going to be marking 75 years of our bilateral relationship next year, and little wonder why Sanae Takaichi also penned an op-ed in Times of India, where she's already declared, even before her arrival in the national capital, that she will be looking towards bringing the focus back on a free and open Indo-Pacific, an outlook of Japan that very much aligns with India's vision of Mahasagar. So you can expect maritime security also to, in fact, be gaining a lot of limelight. More importantly, there will be discussions and perhaps agreements forged as far as defense industrial cooperation is concerned. Ever since Japan gave up its pacifist stance, which it had adopted after World War II for decades, it opened up its energy, its technology transfer when it comes to arms transfer as well, something that Prime Minister Shinzo Abe had done way back in 2014 and 2015. So India is hoping to capitalize on a new Japan as far as defense cooperation is concerned. Of course, we are seeing economic security be a top priority, given that there's been a disruption to supply chain. So you can expect critical minerals, pharmaceuticals, fertilizers, AI, semiconductors, and of course LNG, as far as energy security is also concerned, to be forged with Japan.
And give us an insight, Akanksha, into the Northeast as well, and the significance that that region in India holds in terms of the Indo-Japanese partnership, because Japan has been looking at the Northeast as a serious economic opportunity. Remember that this trip was also supposed to include a Guwahati leg that, of course, for various reasons did not materialize. But tell us about the significance of the Northeast in the context of the Indo-Japanese relationship.
So it's interesting that you talk about that, because that's exactly what this bilateral engagement is looking towards, capitalizing on, whether it is economic or even in terms of security. Why the Northeast becomes extremely crucial is because we've seen how China has been making its overtures in the Northeast, especially when it comes to the chicken's neck via Bangladesh. And so it's important for India to engage with bilateral partners, which in fact are strong in terms of security, and that happens to be Japan, one which is a time-tested partner to us. And so interesting you highlight that connectivity link which we are working towards, Assam, and perhaps that is exactly what Prime Minister Takaichi's visit will hope to do. Maybe translate this now or give it a greater momentum. There was a lot of investment that was talked about as well. So just a quick point on that investment now finally shaping up, because regulatory hurdles have in fact really been problematic for India. So we'll have to see how this visit shapes up in the next couple of hours.
All right. We'll wait for that joint statement as well, and the briefing that the two prime ministers are expected to give in some time from now, after that bilateral meeting concludes. The visuals that you're seeing from that meeting that took place at Hyderabad House. We'll take a short break right now. We'll continue our coverage of this and much more on the other side. Stay tuned.